Good morning. Thanks for being here. Obviously, very excited about getting our first road win at Bowling Green, and very proud of the team. Their homecoming, hostile environment, and things that transpired during the course of the game. Our guys, I thought, handled it very, very well. Another outstanding performance from our defense, but just overall, program-wise, very excited about going on the road and winning a game in the MAC East against a very good Bowling Green team. As time will play out, you look at their non-conference schedule, particularly going before our game, as it had to be the toughest schedule in the country, as they have played undefeated Liberty, probably the toughest. I wrote it down. Michigan, undefeated, just come off a huge win this last weekend, and hung in there versus Michigan in the first half. As you guys know, of course, our game, Georgia Tech has played a very difficult schedule. I think Georgia Tech, they lost to an undefeated Louisville team by 5, an Ole Miss team, which I saw play, versus LSU, which is a very good team. They won at Wake Forest, and they lost at Ole Miss. So again, Bowling Green has played a very difficult schedule. Scott told me as much before the game, and for us to go on the road and win the game we're very happy with. So I'll put that to rest and go on to the next topic, which would be how we handle the open week. I thought staff-wise, we got a lot of things done recruiting-wise. Got a chance to get out and see some guys locally, in our tank of gas, is what I always say. Got a chance to work with some young guys in practice a little bit, and scrimmage some guys. The staff's very excited about some of the younger guys that we have in the program right now. So that was a great thing to get done last week, and then of course we gave the guys some time off this weekend with us not playing a game. So I thought for the most part we handle it well, and we're looking forward to getting to game week. Back into the flow and our routine. We're typical work week this week, Monday, with our guys, and we team meeting I think at 2:30 today. But we're on to Kent State. I got a chance to, of course, look at them and work on them a little bit last week. I think they're coming off their best performance of the year versus Miami. Again, Kent State, really anybody in our league coming off non-conference, you got to know what you're looking at. When you start looking at records, particularly the stats, it's, you got to. I've been in this league a long time, and this time of year is dangerous because just the numbers say one thing, records say another, and it's really who you're playing. Again, Kent State and who they've played with where they are. Very, very difficult. I think I looked at the number of wins. You combine the wins and their schedule. They're close to 15 or 15 and 6. Arkansas, I think, is the only team that has a losing record. It's Arkansas. So again, it'll be a very good football game this Saturday. They've kind of had our number the last couple of years. There've been 2 barn burner games. I know the last 2. The overtime loss last year, 3rd place, and then the year before was a 1-score game here in Athens, and so it'll be a hard-fought football game. Back to where they are as a program, it's basically a new staff. As with anybody in our league, there's a lot of new faces on the roster that they have, and again, they've gotten better each week. Again, it was on full display versus Miami. I thought that they had their best game, probably just timing-wise, tempo-wise. Their passing game I thought took a huge step, and their defense is flying around. The number 5, the D lineman, has been caused us problems. He's a really good player. They've got a transfer Missouri linebacker, number 33, I believe. A couple guys in the secondary we tried to recruit. The Miller kid is a really good player. Offensively, running back number 21 is a young man that we wanted to recruit. He was committed early to Kent. Didn't get a chance to really. He's a really good player. The number 11 receiver, 22, 11 and 22, very talented, and you can just see the progress that they're making per each week. And so we anticipate them playing their best. That's going to be our goal, but it should be a great matchup. And I'll end it and before I open up for questions with it's homecoming, special time here, and nobody does it better at homecoming than us. We're looking forward to our fans and getting in front of them. The weather looks great, and so we're super excited. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach Aiden Crowley with WOUB, you kind of mentioned it at the beginning, but especially after how physical that Bowling Green game was, how important or how fortunate was it to have this week off and kind of get some guys healthy?
I think that's a great question, and we've played physical football the entire season, and it was really it showed that at Saturday at Bowling Green. And I should have mentioned I'm unfortunate with Jacoby. He is out for the year with surgery. He's back home with his family with non-weight bearing leg injury, and our thoughts and prayers are with him. I got a chance to talk to him a couple times since he's been back. Mason Williams is on crutches with a lower leg injury. We'll see how that goes out. But back to the physicality of that game, it really was. Bowling Green's O-line and D-line very physical, and the timing of the open week really was couldn't have worked out much better for us, to be honest with you. Who gets back from this contest? I'm assuming Keegan will be back as he practiced last week. Jeremiah Wood will probably be wait and see. Mecca Ryder probably wait and see. I anticipate Mecca, but he has not practiced yet with his injury. That's off the top of my head, but hopefully we can make some strides with getting some guys back.
Eric Decker, Messenger. Coach, you kind of bring up with Jacoby right there. One of the things you've kind of harped on or spoken highly about throughout the year was the depth at the wide receiver position. So how do you think just that group's kind of just going to handle this news and move forward?
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere we got, I don't know, 3 or 4 guys maybe with 20 catches or something like that. I saw that will come up. That'll come in huge for us down the stretch. I think we had 4 guys last year that was in the mid-30s. And I think that's how we spread it around, and we'll pay dividends. One of the guys that I thought young guys in our young scrimmage, Kamani DeBro, had a nice week last week. Has not played in the game yet, but he's one of the guys that may get some playing time moving forward. And then, of course, we're going to rely heavily on our veterans, Sammy and Miles, and Tyler Walton's is having a great season. I'm excited, Chase Hendricks had a couple catches against Bowling Green. He's played in every game. He's playing close to 30 snaps for us as a true freshman receiver. So those guys I mentioned, I think hopefully will get us through. And we're in a good spot. We're gonna miss Jacoby. I mean, he was one quarter, 4 or 5 catches for almost 100 yards. Got behind the defense, and he missed the first couple of games. I feel terrible with Jacoby on it. But if anyone can handle it, I know he can. He's a warrior, and we're gonna miss him. But I think as a whole and as a group of receivers, the guys will continue to work hard with Coach Dixon's leadership and produce for us.
You want to go, Bonnie?
Oh, yeah. You talked a bit about homecoming. Can you kind of take me through how it can help the football team, the events throughout the week, and obviously the energy the day of the game?
Yeah, we sell out here, and our crowds are electric. But you get a few more texts or emails from alum that come back for homecoming. Because it is from the build up, the kegs and eggs and all the stuff uptown that you hear about. It's an exciting time. I don't think it's going to really have a bearing. I think in high school you get there's the parades and the football teams involved with all that, and we have pep rally on Thursday, which we'll be at. But there's a few more distractions for homecoming than there are for a regular season game. So as a staff, you got to have your ear to the railroad track on it, But we've got enough veterans that have been here, have gone through it, that can help the younger kids, where it's not a distraction, and we can turn all the energy for homecoming and leading up to the game and get it into a positive manner to use it as an advantage. It's going to be a rowdy crowd. It always is, and should be electric, but our guys are going to give great effort regardless of that.
And then we also mentioned kind of the week break that you guys have. Is it ever difficult as a coach trying to ramp your guys back up to speed after a little bit of...
That's a warranted question. I'll know more after today's practice. My message today at 2:30, after a few housekeeping details, will be just that. And let's amp up the intensity. Let's get our mind right. And I think with the staff and our demeanor, they're going to get the hint. That's okay to say.
Coach, I just wanted to ask, another great day, another great out there for the defense last week, but I know even though with a couple defensive scores, you still had that really efficient day offensively, especially Curtis, 14-16 with 3 scores. So how does it, with all the headlines and pressure coming into the year for the offense, how nice was it to just finally kind of see that efficiency?
Right. I thought, again, for what they were given, and how the game played out, I thought they handled things efficiently. I think we can run the ball better, but as the score escalated, to your point, some of the play calling was, just what it was, and I'm excited about, Curtis is now, another complete game, and he's, I think, starting to come into his own. I want some of the guys around Curtis to start playing a little bit better, but that's, I can say the same thing about defense. I got to say on the defensive piece that they're just week in and week out, and they've had a few injuries, and have overcome it. I think that just speaks volume to the talent that we have on the roster, particularly on defense and plugging guys in. And we certainly got enough work at that last year in the back end at times, on defense. And it's been very helpful. Defensively, I think we're mid-50s as far as total number of points. And if I remember correctly, 27 of those 54 points that has been scored on our defense, 27 of them have come off turnovers from offense. 27 of those points from San Diego State, LIU. We didn't have a turnover against Iowa State, and you take that. Look at that stat right there. So they're whatever how many points a game, and we don't have a few of those turnovers, and we're talking about our defense even more than what we already are. That's what it is, and I think it's exciting. And we just want them to keep getting better as a football team, as we are in league play now. And this league is top to bottom as balanced as it ever has been, top to bottom. It will be down to who plays the best on that particular day. Our game at Bowling Green is exactly, who plays the best on that Saturday, just like it's going to be this Saturday. And those games in November are going to be, very exciting for the fans, and it should be a lot of fun.
Russ Eisenstein, Ohio Athletics. Coach, fans might be wondering about maybe some changes from Kent State, what they've seen the last couple of years of the Flash Fast, new head coach, and that. Can you explain to the fans of what's similar there, and maybe there might be some differences of what they might see?
I think offensively, they retained enough coaches on offense. They are still Flash Fast. And I think with the number of faces they have on the roster, again, with anybody in our conference in this day and age, there's the roster turnover, that is the norm. I'm going to be very clear, which will be a topic for after the season or a time other than now. But again, I thought just tempo-wise against Miami on offense, you're starting to see it coming together with all the new faces. I think their philosophy is a lot the same, but they've had trouble getting it again, opponent-wise, looking at that schedule. It's probably really got more to do with it than anything. And then defensively, I think it's a little bit different. Predominantly 4 down on defense, and they know what they're doing, and they're not really concerned that you might know what coverage it is. They're not really concerned with it. They don't really care what you know. They care what they know, and I think you can see, the stat. Minnesota ties, PJ Fleck and what they're about, and how they operate. You can see it. The team takes on their personality, their head coach's personality. I think I've said that before, and I think just from their philosophy and all 3 phases, they're starting to show. And again, defensively, they don't care that you know what coverage you're in. They care what they know. They play hard. They know what they're doing. Very little mistakes. There's you take away 3 explosive plays that they had versus Miami, and it's a 7-3 game or 3-3 game, and that's fact. You can quote me on it. So we're going to have to do the things that we do. We're not going to be able to turn the ball over, and we're going to have to play sound, because they're going to know what they're going to know what they're doing, and it's going to come down to execution in all 3 phases.
Coach, you mentioned kind of taking a little bit of the weight off Curtis, running the ball more efficiently after BG. Where do you think that group needs to take a step in order to get to where you guys were last year running the football?
We got to stay healthy in the O-line. We got a few injuries there, and so that's a concern. I think balance is the word. I want to say the word balance with our offense, and whether it's whoever's at tailback, that person that's in the game at that time needs to be productive. And of course, that starts up front. I don't want to I don't want to throw it every play, we don't want to throw it every play, and we don't want to run it every play. Again, balanced and get the ball spread around. So defensively, they can't double Sam. They can't put another guy in the box when CA or O'Shawn's in the game. And they have to be if they want to try to disguise things in the back end and make it difficult for Curtis. Well, then, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. I think it all works together. If you're balanced defensively, they're going to have to make a decision what you want to do, and then as a staff, we have to continue to find ways to take advantage of their game plan.
Coach, you guys end up with a couple of votes in the coaches poll this week. So I know it's a game-by-game basis, and these numbers really don't mean anything, but is there any sort of pride for the program just to be able to get this sort of recognition throughout the year?
Absolutely. I think it's anytime you get that kind of recognition, it just speaks volume to the program. From Director Cromer, President Gonzalez, the staff, and of course, the players. You win games because of players. End of story. And it's exciting. I'm a pollster, and some of those votes were not from Tim Albin. We got work to do, and we're going to try to do our best to continue to get better.